Hi, how's it going? Welcome to Code with Z. In today's video, we have to convert this column number that we have here into a column title. So for example, 28 is gonna be AB. Why are we doing this? Well, because that's what LeetCode 168 Excel sheet column title is asking us to do. As you can see, it says, given an integer called column number, return its corresponding column title as it appears in an Excel sheet. So for example, if we're given 1, we have to return A. If we're given 2, we have to return B. And all the way till 26, when we're given 26, we have to return Z. And then when we're given 27, we have to return AA, 28, AB, and so on and so forth. All right, let's see how we can solve this. So to solve this, let's first of all, bring what we just saw over here. And as you can see here, instead of saying A is equal to 1, meaning if we have 1, we have to return A, we have 0. Why is that? Well, because in programming languages, we start from 0, now 1. But in Excel, we actually start 1. So we don't have column 0, we have column 1. But in programming languages, everything is 0 indexed. So we start from 0. So now 0 is A, 1 is B, 2 is C, and so on and so forth. And then to solve this problem, we're going to follow 4 really short and simple rules. The first one is that we're going to adjust the column number with column number minus minus to decrement this. Why are we doing this? Well, because we want it to match with 0 indexing. This column number tells us that we need to return the title for the 28th column in our Excel sheet. But because in our programming languages, if we are 0 indexed, the column number for the 28th column is going to be 27 because we start from 0. So that's why every time we're just going to decrement column by 1 to make sure that we have the correct things going on. And then after we've done that, we have to convert this number into a letter. But we're going to start from the right side. Meaning, for example, if we have 27 over here, we're going to start by finding B first and then A. So we go from the right to the left. So in our second rule, we're going to say, get the rightmost letter with column number mod 26. And if something is foggy, don't worry, because we're going to visualize all of this so you can see it with your own eyes. But this is the second rule. I won't explain it further because you're going to see how it works in literally a few seconds. The third rule is that we're going to divide it by 26. After we've done that, we're going to divide our number by 26 so we can actually move on to the next letter. And then we're going to keep on repeating this until our number over here reaches 0. Now let's see how you can solve this. So let's do this. We're going to have to follow the first rule, and that's going to be to decrement column number. So we're going to go from 28 to 28 minus 1, and that's going to give us 27. All right. The first one is checked. Now we're going to move on to the next one. Here it says to get the rightmost letter, we need to find the answer for a column number mod 26. Well, column number is 27, 27 mod 26. That's going to give us 1. All right. Let's see what 1 represents. Well, would you look at that? 1 is representing B. So we're going to have B over here, and then we're going to move on forward. In the third step, it says divide by 26 for the letter on the left. Meaning now that we have found the letter on the right, we have to think about how we can actually go to the letter on its left. And to do that, it says to divide by 26. Well, if we divide 27 by 26, that's going to give us 1. So we're going to be left with 1. And then, as you can see, we've not reached 0 yet. So we're going to repeat the whole process. So just to summarize, as you can see, each time we're going to decrement, we're going to get the rightmost letter by modding by 26. Why are we doing this? Well, because when we mod by 26, we're going to get the remainder, and that remainder represents our letter. And then after we've done that, we have to remove the number that represents the letter that we just found so we can actually move on to the next round. And we do that by dividing it by 26. So now again, we're going to decrement 1, that's going to give us 0. And then we're going to move on to the next step. As you can see, it says get the rightmost letter with column number mod 26. Well, 0 mod 26, so that's going to give us 0. And 0 is representing A. And this is going to be the letter on the left, like so. Now we have A and B. And then we're going to move on to the next step. We're going to divide by 26. And as you can see, 0 divided by 26, that's going to give us 0. And then we're going to get to the fourth rule. And as you can see, it says repeat until we reach 0. And as you can see, we've already reached 0. So we're going to stop, and that's going to be it. At the end, we're going to return A and B because that's definitely our answer. And that's it. Now let's code this in the simplest way possible. Alrighty, let's solve this together. So the very first thing that we need to do is to first decrement our column number, just like we saw in the slides. And then we have to mod it by 26. So we're going to say const, for example, last letter index, because we start from the right. So this is going to be the last one. And then we slowly go to the left. we're gonna say column number mod 26. Simple as that. Now that we have the index, if this is 0, that's gonna give us A. If this is 1, that's gonna give us B. Now that we have that, we have to convert this number into the letter. And we can do this easily in JavaScript by saying const letter. So let's define a new variable, and this is gonna be string dot from car code. And I'm gonna explain this in a bit, don't worry. Last letter index that we just found plus 65. So let me explain this line. What this is doing is that 65 is the ASCII code for the letter A, the uppercase A. So 65 is basically representing A. And we're basically converting the ASCII code of the letter into the letter itself. So we can basically have even an object or a dictionary that's gonna map all of the numbers to the letters, but we can easily have it this way in JavaScript. And you might be like, all right, then why are we doing this? Why are we adding these two numbers together? Well, for example, if this is 0, 0 plus 65, that's gonna give us 65, and 65 is representing A, right? But for example, if this is 1, that's gonna give us 66, and 66 is gonna be B. And then so on and so forth. For example, 67 is gonna be C. So that's why we have to have our last letter index over here, so we can actually make sure that we only get the letter that we want based on our calculation that we just did over here. Now let's update our column number, because we need to say column number divided by 26, just like we saw in the slides. But because we don't want to have any decimals, we have to say math.floor, and this has to wrap this calculation over here, and that's going to get rid of all of the decimals that we might encounter. Now that we have this, as you can see, we've decremented it. That was step 1. And then we had column number mod 26 to get the letter with these two lines. That's step 2. And now we have step 3, because we're dividing it by 26. Now we have to repeat the whole process, and we're going to do this recursively. So we're going to say return convert to title. As you can see, this is the function that we have over here. So convert to title, we're going to give it the column number that we have, and that's gonna be it. When this is gonna return, we have to make sure that this comes before the letter that we just found. So we found this letter in this round, and then we're gonna call it again recursively. When this is gonna return, this is gonna have the letter, for example, A, and this is gonna be the letter, for example, B, and then we're gonna have AB. Simple as that. So that's going to be how it works, but we also need to make sure that we have a base case, and our base case was that we would stop when we have 0. So we're going to say column number equaling to 0. If that's the case, return an empty string. Now let's run this and see if we can actually get accepted. And we got accepted. Now let's submit this and see if we can actually pass all of the test cases. And we did. That's awesome. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and keep on coding.